Coaster enthusiasts are insufferable assholes, myself included. Don't you try and deny it, dear viewer, you cannot hide from the truth. We moan and complain about every possible moment about literally anything, such as a non-existent rattle on a coaster, or a park announcing a ride we don't want, or, heaven forbid, a cloned roller coaster.
Stop it, please, I beg you!
Yep, clones have taken a negative connotation among enthusiasts, being seen as lazy carbon copies of existing rides just slapped onto a park all haphazardly. Which is usually true, but you know what? To hell with that. Just because a ride is a clone doesn't mean it's bad. Take a look at Mr. Freeze, for example, or Superman Ultimate Flight, or the topic of this video, the Batman the Ride clones. These are all excellent coasters that happen to be clones. Now, obviously there are bad clones, but that doesn't mean they're all bad. I believe we should define roller coasters not by their abundance, but by the content of their layout. Why did I write this? Good lord. Of all of the many cloned coasters in the Six Flags chain, I'd say none are more iconic and influential than Batman the Ride. After the immediate success of the original at Six Flags Great America, Six Flags decided to put a clone at almost every major park of theirs in the 90s, such as Six Flags Great Adventure, Six Flags Magic Mountain, Six Flags St. Louis, Six Flags Over Georgia, and Six Flags Over Texas. And also a bunch of other parks, but you know what, we'll get to that later. But there is a reason for why there's so many of these things, and it really just boils down to the fact that they're just really good coasters. They're fast-paced, super forceful, and compact coasters that are just really damn fun. Add on the fact that they're themed to Batman, you know, one of the most popular media franchises ever, and you have the perfect ride to clone. So today, I'm going to take a look back at this iconic ride model. The good, the not so good, and the surprisingly influential. To the Batmobile! Alright, here's a brief history, and by brief, I mean video essay brief.
It's time to stop!
In 1989, the world was graced by the release of Tim Burton's Batman, starring Michael Keaton as the Caped Crusader and Jack Nicholson as the Joker. The film was a smash success and kicked off a period of Batmania for a while, and rightfully so, it was a great movie.
This town needs an enema.
Batman shit was everywhere. There was enough merchandise to sustain a small island nation back in the early 90s. And then we have Six Flags, who have had the rights to Warner Bros. IP such as Batman and thought, hey, we can make so much money from this. And so, alongside up-and-coming manufacturer B&M, developed a revolutionary, never-before-seen ride type themed to Batman, the inverted coaster. Setting riders beneath the track, the ride was able to travel through inversions and ultra-intense moments, evolving the suspended coaster concept by Arrow. 1992 would roll around, and the long-awaited sequel to Batman 1989, Batman Returns, would come out. About a month prior, however, Six Flags Great America would open the first ever inverted coaster.
Answer the call to Batman, the ride. Imagine the air below, the sky above. You are Batman when you fly the world's only suspended outside looping nothing like it on Earth experience. Not even at Disney. Come, answer the call to Batman, the ride, only at Six Flags Great America.
It was named Batman the Ride, a simple name, but a genius name marketing-wise. This was the Batman ride, the only one ever up to that point. And if you want to see what a Batman coaster was like, you gotta get your ass to Illinois to ride Batman the Ride. To say it was a success would be a massive understatement. Riding the coattails of the new movie, Batman the Ride instantly became a top ride in the park. It gave a true themed experience, which today isn't that groundbreaking, but back then you could really only get that at Disney. The theming wasn't mind-blowing, but it was enough. Though it is really funny how Six Flags completely abandoned the idea of theming their DC rides after the 90s. Seriously, we went from somewhat decent actual theming to billboards and whatever Flash is meant to be.
Oh, it's disgusting!
Anyways, the ride itself dazzled riders with brisk pacing, whippy inversions, including a never-before-seen zero-G roll, and an uber-intense finale.
The ride behind us illustrates the synergy of Time Warner and Six Flags, that we're able to create an entirely new experience that probably has never existed in the theme park, with every element of a thrill ride. I mean, this is the most exciting ride. It's probably the big daddy of them all now.
And so, after the smash success of this ride, Six Flags realized the cash cow they had on their hands and proceeded to clone it across the country and also began to implement DC-themed rides all over their parks to varying quality. So just to give a recap, Batman the Ride was one of the most influential coasters of the past 30 years. It sounds stupid, but it's true. This very ordinary, albeit good, thrill coaster was the first B&M Invert, one of their most popular models, and the ride that truly put B&M on the map. It was the first ride to have a zero-G roll. It was the first coaster outside of Disney to really give a true themed experience, and it was the first coaster in the Six Flags chain to use the DC comic characters, spawning so many after it. It's legitimately one of the most influential coasters of the past 30 years, as I just said, and it makes sense why the original at Great America is an ace landmark. So, you know what? That's the history and influence of this ride taken care of. How about we now talk about the actual ride experience? To the Batcave! Of the many clones of this model, I have only done 2 of them. The original at Great America, and the one at Great Adventure, which happens to be the closest one to me. I'm sure the other ones are all good, or they might suck, I don't know. All I am saying is that these 2 are both pretty damn good and essentially identical ride-wise. So you know what? I'm just gonna act like it's the one ride. But I guess first I should talk about the minor differences between these 2, which is the theming, specifically the quality of the theming. Great America's Batman has better theming, mainly because the effects and props are actually working. Now, thankfully, Great Adventure's Batman is getting a sizable overhaul right now, so hopefully the theming is restored. And I mean, it ain't much theming, but it's enough to feel like they do try. The station looks like the Batcave, and there's some cool props, including but not limited to a police car, the Batmobile, and Michael Keaton's neck paint stimulator. Again, it ain't much, but this is leagues better than what other Six Flags rides have, especially more modern DC rides. The one downside is that the indoor part of the queue traps heat like a motherfucker. Ever wonder what it would feel like to be a human hot pocket? Wait for Batman the Ride in the summer.
Oh my god, it's like standing on the sun!
Anyways, you reach the station, pull down your over-the-shoulder restraints, give your offerings to Michael Keaton's neck, and begin your ride. You climb up a somewhat quick 100-foot tall lift hill, and then descend your twisting drop to the left. I must say, this is an underrated drop. There's some gnarly whip towards the back, as you immediately then transition into your first inversion, a super tight vertical loop that will almost certainly make you gray out. You then follow that up with just a delightful zero-G roll, a great mix between sheer whip and negative forces. This was the original after all, and they got it right the first time. So yeah, damn good start with some solid forces and good pacing. It'll probably tucker out after this though, right? Nope! You then go right into another vertical loop, this one not as intense, but still solid, and then enter the compact finale. This is where the positives just try to crush your bones in. Following the loop, you turn into this upward helix that is just so intense. I'm telling you, my legs felt like pure jelly after this moment. And just when you get feeling back in your legs, you get thrown into back-to-back corkscrews. Wingovers. Dwayne. I need you to tell me what the actual difference between a wingover and a corkscrew is. They feel the same, they look the same. Legitimately, why does there need to be a distinction between the two? Moving on, yeah, these corkscrews are damn spectacular. The whip is just absolutely absurd. And with that, you turn to the brakes. I mean, it makes sense why this layout was cloned so much. It's compact, it's ridiculously intense, and can fill in great as a supporting thrill coaster. The pacing is also just top-notch. But there are some things to complain about, as is natural for me and my fellow enthusiasts. First, I mean, there's a slight rattle, but it's not that bad at all. A bit of a shuffle during the finale, but it is far from ride-wrecking, as opposed to some modern B&Ms. And second, it is kinda short. Like, it's a drop, loop, zero, another loop, turn, corkscrews, brakes. Compared to the other inverts around the world, except for like, I don't know, Flight Deck, Batman is a rather short ride, but what it does with that layout is great, thanks to the brilliant pacing. So, you know, that's really it regarding Batman the Ride in terms of the ride itself. A ridiculously intense, brilliantly paced invert that has the misfortune of being cloned in an absurd amount of time. If I had to rate the Batman the Ride clones out of 10, I'd give them a very solid 7.5. I know that appears kinda high, especially with these clones, but looking at these rides at an objective level, it's a damn good coaster. I'm telling you, if these weren't cloned so much, we would laud these as just amazing roller coasters to do again and again. But then again, there are much better inverts out there. Like, so much better inverts. Hell, there are 2 better B&M inverts within an hour from the one in Great Adventure, so you know what, I could just be overrating these things. Anyways, my job here is done. Gotham City has been saved, and I've covered everything possible with these rides.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Batman the Ride clones are synonymous with the Six Flags chain, but they're not just restricted to Six Flags. Hell, usually they're not even themed to Batman. So you know what? Let's discuss the other Batman clones real quick. There are actually 2 Batman clones not themed to Batman in the Six Flags chain. Laurent is a Batman clone called Vampire, which, actually, now that I think about it, this is themed to Batman, never mind. The other is Chupacabra at Fiesta, Texas. Originally at Six Flags New Orleans, it now stands at Fiesta, Texas since 2008. For some reason, though, this was originally called Goliath when it first opened, despite it being, the opposite of that.
You're a big fat phony!
Even stranger, this park is a free spin named Batman the Ride that opened 7 years after. And even stranger than that, there's another Batman clone in the same exact city. SeaWorld San Antonio is home to Great White, which is not white, it is in fact blue. Idiots. Next up is Shadows of Arkham, which is just such a baller name for a ride. This is in Parque Warner Madrid, making it the only Batman clone in Europe, and it's just a Batman clone with amazing theming. Next up is Diavolo, which is all the way in Japan at Himeji Central Park. Not much else to say here, really. And finally, we have technically the newest Batman clone. This is Tanjora, located at Wonderla in India. Opening last December, it was relocated originally from Kuwait of all places. Yeah, of all the countries that have a B&M Invert, from the ground up no less, Kuwait was one of them. And to make that fact even funnier, Six Flags Mexico did not get a B&M Invert for their Batman clone. They got an SLC.
That's rough, buddy.